welcome to episode 23 of the Pip and Pin Podcast. I am Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. Today is September 5th, so it's getting into fall. Kids are starting to go back to school, which is very exciting for a lot of people I know. And George is not quite in school yet, but she's starting preschool on the 17th, so that'll be really exciting. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin, on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin, and we also have a Pip and Pin Ravelry group, which is called Pip and Pin. So to start off today, I'm gonna give lots of stuff away. I have had 3 giveaways that I just ended today. So I'm gonna start with I'm going to start small. I'm going to start with the Pip and Pin knit along. That is our ongoing knit along that is on Instagram. You just use the hashtag Pip and Pin KAL18, and that's your entry for this knit along. This month I made the prize. So I made this guy, which is just a little notions pouch that I embroidered with some random embroidery and made a teeny tiny little tassel for it. It's nothing much, but there's lots of love in there. Oh, there's also a secret in there. Forgot about that. So you'll get this and whatever's inside. So I drew from August's entries, and the winner is Savannah, who is a crafty coder. So congrats to you, Savannah. I'll be in touch with you on Instagram, and you can send me your address, and I will pop this guy into the mail for you. I was going to have the September prize ready, but I just didn't get around to it. George is with her grandma today, so I'm doing all of my filming today. I'm at a meeting today, and so I just really wanted to film everything today. So I'll find a prize for September and I'll pop it up on Instagram somewhere, and then that'll be that. The next giveaway that I have is I am giving away a pattern from Knox Mountain Knit Co., and it is their Fintry, which is a beautiful shawl pattern with like these traveling lace kind of thing. It's beautiful, and it's one of their brand new patterns, so I wanted to give a copy of that away as well. So I did that over on my Ravelry group, and I've blocked the thread now, but using the random number generator, I got entry number 15, who is, I'm going to butcher this, Kabowski? Hi. So you are the winner of our Fintry pattern, so I'll be gifting that just right to your Ravelry library. And as the prompt for this giveaway, I asked what your favorite Knox Mountain Knit Company design was, and she said hers was the Old Vine shawl, which is also beautiful. And then last but certainly not least is my big giveaway for hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And that one had over like 130 entries. So I think that was pretty cool. The winner of this one is going to get to choose between the 2 prize packs that I had made. And I showed those last time, so I'm not going to show them now. If you're curious, they are up on the Ravelry group. But yeah, so I, again, used the random number generator thing, and our winner for that is number 19, who is Mad for Tahoe. Congratulations to you, Maggie. I will get in touch with you on Ravelry, and we will connect, and you can choose your prize. So congratulations to all 3 of our winners. For the Pip and Pin knit along, I will be finding another prize, and there's actually going to be another giveaway at the end of this episode because I really enjoyed doing the Knox Valley pattern giveaway. So there may be another pattern giveaway at the end of the episode. You'll have to wait and see. On to the knitting stuff. I don't actually have any finished objects today. No, I don't. But I do have something random. In the middle of last week, okay, if you don't know this about me, when things start to get, when I start to get overwhelmed by things like Knit City is a couple weeks away, I was feeling very overwhelmed by that fact about a week ago. And so I decided to cast on some stuff because that's what I do. When I get overwhelmed, I start new projects. That's just what I do. It doesn't make any logical sense whatsoever. That's how I roll. So what I wanted to do was make like a sock that I could wear with, I have these black leather like ked shoes kind of. They're just like little lace ups, but they need a sock that has, I don't like wearing them with normal socks, but I want them to show a little bit, but like still kind of like a ballet slipper or like a sports sock or something where just that little cutout at the top. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'll just show you what I did. So I made this guy. And this is, it kind of looks like a little slipper sock. Basically what I did is I started right here at the heel flap. I did the heel flap and then the gusset. And then instead of joining it in the round, obviously because there's no round, I just knit back and forth all the way through this part. And then joined it in the round here and did from the toe down in the round. And then I picked up stitches just along with the whole edge and knit a little cuffy thing. The yarns, these two here are sweet fiber. This is moss and ochre, and then the toe is 6 and 7 fiber in I'll Teach the Lot. And it didn't work. So I'm not super excited about this. I'm not going to make another one. I'm not even going to weave in the ends. It was an experiment and it failed. Not really failed. It's not where I want it to be yet. The back here comes up way too high. And so because it comes up too high, it sits at a funny place and then it wants to slide down. I also made it too short. And I also made this part too long. So like this should come maybe here and then close up and start. So it just it falls off my foot instantly. It's just not quite the right formula yet, but it was, I'm not going to say it was a waste of time because I learned a lot. So next time I get freaked out about time, I'll cast on another one and give it another go. But that's going to go in my pile of never to be finished, but good knitting exercise, I guess. For whips, I have a couple. This is the one I showed you last time. It's probably all tangled up. Yep. I should have done one more row because I have strands coming off either end. But anyways, this is the new cardigan that I am designing. And making, I talked a little bit about it last time, but this may or may not become a pattern because I'm doing it completely differently than how I normally do it. But anyways, I have separated, you can't see because it goes all dark. I've separated for the sleeves. And this armhole is giant, and that is exactly what I wanted it to do, I think. My plan is to have really kind of low armholes and then bring it up to maybe 3/4 or like right here, and then have it be like a dolman sleeve. So really easy to wear, like almost like a shrug, like just something light and like airy and oversized to put on, because that is my jam. This yarn here, let me show you a little close up here. This yarn is Madeline Tosh Merino Light in Grace Notes, and I am alternating skeins especially because of all the different colors. That's just what you should do with hand-dyed yarn. And also I could tell right away after I'd skeined it up that like one of the skeins had more of the oranges and yellows, and then the other one had a better mix of everything and included more of the blues and the purples and stuff. So I figured I 100% just need to start alternating right away. Sometimes I can get away with like not doing lines, but like kind of fading the skeins in, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But with this one, yeah, right away, 100%, 2 skeins all the way through. I'm really loving this texture. It's the honeycomb brioche, and I know a lot of people are scared of brioche, but you shouldn't be. It's really not. Once you get the concept, like there's one specific thing that needs to be done, and it's like a yarn over slip stitch kind of thing. And there's certain terms for it and stuff like that. But really, once you understand that, and that is one stitch, then the rest is easy. When you start with this stitch, when you start going back and forth, you only do like, I think it's a 4-row repeat or something. Like is it 4 or is it 2? No, this is 4, but it's so easy. And there's no purling. So you're just doing yarn overs and slip stitches and knitting. I think that's pretty cool. So that one is definitely coming along. I think I'm going to do a couple inches on the body and then try out one of the sleeves to see if I can make it do what I want it to do. And then maybe I'll probably end up doing both the sleeves at the same time, because I do only have 4 skeins of this yarn. So I want to make sure that, like, I don't want to knit the whole body and then compromise on the sleeves. I would rather do the sleeves how I want them, and then do as much of the body as I can. And then I'm going to have pockets in the front so you can put your hands somewhere. And I'm going to do that with a contrasting color. And then I think for the collar, I was almost thinking about doing it contrasting too, but no, I'm going to do it the same in the same yarn, and probably just like garter stitch or something easy. But we'll see how that goes. That's my plan anyways. My other whip that I've been working on, I've been working a little bit on my gray socks that I showed last time. And I've gotten a little bit further on the foot, but I'm not going to show those until they're done. I only put, a couple inches on the foot. Now I pretty much just have a couple more inches and then the toe to do, and then they're done. So I'll just show them to you when they're actually done. But the other thing that had my attention these past couple weeks, pretty much took all of my attention, aside from that random 2 days where I knit a sock, and the other day where I did a little bit on that, not even a lot. But I brought that to my in-laws' house because I don't have to pay attention to that. This I have to pay attention to. But it is, I didn't think I was going to start it right away, but I totally started my Fintry shawl that I was talking about last time, and I am so in love. So here's a close-up, and it's kind of hard to see because it's very sunny outside right now, so I'm quite backlit, but Here you can see the start of it. You start at one corner and then you just add one stitch per side kind of, and then you end up with this beautiful like asymmetrical shawl. It'll kind of be, this will be the top. But yeah, and then you get this trailing lace and these lines, and like it's just gonna be, I just want it to be done. I just want it to be on my body. I've been like power knitting this. I love it so much. The yarn that I'm using is this here. Yeah, you can see the color a little better there. And this is Malabrigo Rios in Cereza. I've had this yarn in my stash for ages. And I'm so glad that I finally have found a project to use it for. I think I originally was going to make a sweater out of it, like a little cropped sweater or something. It just never happened. And I think this is a better use for it. The other day I was also wearing my my April Fool shawl, and it's like a big diamond that you kind of fold in half, and then each of the corners has these big tassels. If I have enough yarn left over, which I think I will, I'm gonna make some tassels, because I found that the weight of the tassels actually holds the shawl on so much better. Plus tassels are great. So I will probably be adding tassels to the three corners so that it stays on me a little bit better. Shawls just always kind of fall off. I might make it bigger too, like just because. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about alternating yarns a little bit, because I have 3 skeins of this, and one of them is obviously quite a bit darker. I did not, for the first 2, like I switched them here, and I didn't, like I didn't just switch them right away. I did do 2 rows of like kind of alternating so that they blend a little bit, but these are the 2 skeins that I don't think you would have been able to tell anyways. So I wasn't too worried about those. But here, I'll grab this one. I wonder if you can see it. Oh, yeah. So this one here is, to my eye, quite a bit darker than this one, the one that I'm using, and the first one that I had. So I was thinking, I don't really like alternating on shawls because you can see the edge, and it bugs me. Not that it looks bad, and I feel like if I did it the whole way, it probably wouldn't bug me so much because it would be the same. But I don't know. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure what I'm going to do is alternate for like some rows. Not the whole thing. Like I don't think I'm going to throw it in now and then start alternating. I'll probably do this for another while, and then maybe until like half the skein is gone, maybe a quarter or something. And then I'll start alternating the 2 until this guy runs out, and then it'll kind of just fade a little bit into the darker color. Honestly, if I just switched it, I don't think anyone would notice except for me. But I am definitely one of those people that it would bug me. I would see it every time, and especially because this is for me, like not especially because this is for me, because I do this with my samples too, but like I will see it. I will see it and I will not like it. Not that I wouldn't wear it, but every time I put it on, I know I would notice. So I'm just gonna fade them a little bit, and then hopefully it will be like, I think probably the end of it will be darker than the beginning, but there won't be like a line where you can see, oh, this is where I switched skeins. So that's what I mean by fading it in a little bit. And then I just don't have to, I'm already doing a project where I'm alternating skeins. And I mean, that's just what you do with hand-dyed yarn if you want it to. I know some people don't care, but if you do care, you care. And alternating skeins is worth it. I actually got yarn for a bunch of sweaters. I'm knitting 3 sweaters apart from all of this stuff that are commercial. I got Briggs and Little, and so I'm not alternating skeins, and that's going to be so nice to not have to alternate skeins. For designer life stuff, we've sent the books away to get printed. Katie and I have been working on 2 books, and they are at the printers. They've been there for a week, so they should be done in another week and a half, and then they'll get shipped here, and then we'll have books. So I'm just I was going to say patiently waiting. I am impatiently waiting for these books to be done and in my house, so that I can look at them. And I also have to sticker all of them. And I think between the 2, we've got 500 to sticker. Well, I do, because Katie's in Hawaii. I asked my mom if she could come over and like watch girly movies with me and drink tea and put stickers on things, and she said she would, so so I have help. Also, all of the stock that I've ordered, because when we're at Knit City, we don't just sell patterns and books. Like, we've also started curating lots of stuff. So we do have like tools that are going to be for sale at our booth. And one of the things we always like to have are scissors. And these ones just came in the mail a couple days ago. They are not exactly the little sewing scissors that I usually get, but I just thought they were so cool looking. So I got a couple pairs of these to have at our booth. I also did all of our inventory and like got all of our price lists and things like that, and all of the new patterns that are coming out with the book. I'm drafting all those onto Ravelry, and I've got people doing some preview knitting. So like, I'm starting to see these projects and they're working, and that's a relief, because I didn't actually get them. Like, I got them tech edited twice and proofread, and these are like, they're not crazy hard patterns or anything, so I didn't actually get them test knit. So now we're preview knitting, and like, as I was sending them out, I was like, oh no, like, what if there's something terribly wrong? Like, the books are already at the printer, so there's no changing them. But yeah, everything seems to be working out fine. So I'm seeing some projects pop up, which is also really exciting. Like, the time is coming. It's a couple weeks and there will be books. Hopefully I'm going to be able to set up pre-orders on our website. So if you make sure you just probably the easiest way would be to sign up for on Instagram. You can, what's it called? Where you like sign up and you get notified when someone posts. Do that. Because I will, as soon as the pre-orders are up, I will be posting them that on my Instagram, probably also in Ravelry and stuff too, but I'm sure everywhere. But that just seems like the easiest way to get them. Or you can sign up for our newsletter. I'm sure I will be sending it out a newsletter. Maybe I'll put the link to that down below as well. It's very exciting. All right, so last but not least, we have fun new things, which is I gather things in the community and share them, because sharing is caring. The first thing actually is not knitting. It is sewing, which is not something I do a lot of. And the reason I started this is I was watching the KnitLib podcast the other day, and Susan had made a couple of skirts, and these skirts just look amazing. They're like an elastic waistband, which is always great. They're kind of long and not like super gathered or anything, but then they have these big giant pockets on the sides. And so I thought those were super neat. I went onto Instagram and like checked out the the hashtag for them and decided that I needed to make one. I have been wanting this certain skirt for a while, and it's been in my head. I don't know if it like exists. I'm sure it exists. I've seen it on people, but I just haven't found it yet. And so I decided to give sewing another shot. And so I went and got the pattern for the gypsum skirt, and I have it all printed out already. I'll put some pictures in because I don't have any color ink. So I just printed it in black and white. But it is the gypsum skirt by Sew Liberated. And another thing that really appealed to me about this pattern is I got rid of my sewing machine. my new sewing machine. It wasn't new. It was my mom's sewing machine, probably from the 80s, early 80s. And I kept having problems with it. Like last year I tried to use it a lot, and like every time I would turn it on, there would be something else that was wrong with it. And like I probably should have just got it serviced. Like I think there was just a piece that was wrong. But I was just so over it and so over sewing that I actually just gave it to the shop and let them have it for parts or refurbish it or whatever. I don't know what they did with it, but I just gave it to them. I was like, take it. I don't want it. And so I do have a sewing machine, because while I was in the middle of that like crazy, everything is going wrong, I took out I have a vintage sewing machine from the 60s. I think it's like a 62 or something. That I picked up at a garage sale once for $20, and I had never used it before. But I said, you know what, like I figured I had a couple of seams to do, and like just everything was going wrong. So I'm like, I'm just going to take this out and see if it works. I had never used it before. I had never oiled it before. Like nothing had ever been done to it I probably had it for 10 years, and I had never even plugged it in. I plug it in and it just went. Like it sewed beautifully. The tension was amazing. It wasn't like my old machine was making all these weird, like crashy, clunky, weird sounds. This just sewed. It only does straight seams, but that is okay. And one of the reasons why I also really wanted to learn or to get this specific pattern, it looks great and comfy. It also has instructions for French seams and flat felled seams. So you do that for all of the seams. So you don't need a serger or like what I was doing before. I was just doing like the zigzag stitch on the ends, but you don't need any of that because of the seams. So I'm really excited to try that out and to try my luck. And maybe my not hatred, maybe my distaste for sewing was because of a machine and not because I actually don't like sewing, because I know how to sew and I've been sewing for like since 7th grade. I was in sewing classes and I really loved it, and like I have a quilt that I made and I still use, it's on my bed right now. Like I've sewed and I know how to do it. I feel like it was just the machine, because every time I tried to do it, it just wouldn't work, and I think that's why I was having such a hard time with it last year. So we'll give it a go and see if it's really the machine or just me. So I bought the pattern, and then yesterday George and I walked to the fabric store and we got some fabric, and I don't actually know what it is because I just went to Fabricland and on the label it said unknown. So I don't know what it is, but it's light and not see-through and the color that I wanted and a nice texture. So that's what I got. So the color is a little bit off here, but basically it's like a nice burnt caramel kind of color. And I've washed it and dried it, and it sat in my dryer. Sat in my dryer for all of last night, and it's not even very wrinkly, so that makes me very happy to know that it won't get super wrinkled all the time. So that is my fabric. I did print out, and this is also something that I've never done before. I've never used like an indie pattern, like an indie sewing pattern. So I've never printed out the pages and like pieced them together and done all that. So if anybody has any advice, I'm not a sewist, really. I would say intermediate beginner. So if anyone has any advice on how to do the piecing, how to like do the actual piecing and like cutting and stuff, that would be great. I've got them all printed, like I have them just in a folder here, and one side is the pattern and one side is the pieces. It's all very organized right now, but I know that won't be for long. So I've got all like the single sheets of the pattern. Let me know how you do it. Also, if you have any advice for French seams or flat felt seams or any of the techniques that I may be using, I would also really appreciate those. Okay, and the last thing that I want to talk about is I really enjoyed doing that pattern giveaway, especially because patterns can be gifted on Ravelry. That makes doing giveaways for patterns really easy. I also really like supporting other indie designers, and I want to share some of the new things that are coming out into the world. And I've been finding when I'm looking for new patterns, Ravelry is great. I love Ravelry for most everything, but for finding the brand new patterns, I find it very overwhelming. There's just a lot out there, and a lot gets added every day, and it's not that it's hard, but it's a lot. So what I've been doing is there's a new website called Knitting Pattern of the Day, and that's knittingpatternoftheday.com. And basically what it is a new knitting pattern of the day. So I think the patterns are all less than a month old or less than a couple weeks old. And there's just one picture, and then the designer name and the link to wherever they sell it, and a little like introductory paragraph about it, and then a little like something else, like where the inspiration came from or whatever. And that's it. So one picture, one little description, like a little thing, one a day. And I have it bookmarked, and so like not every day, but like every couple of days I'll go and check out, and I'll be able to actually read about these specific patterns instead of just like scrolling through pictures. And anyways, go check that out because it's a really cool website and I like it a lot. So as I was looking at this website, the one that popped out at me was Andy Satterlund's new pattern, Populux. And it is in typical Andy Satterlund fashion, it is a cropped cardigan. And if you don't know her work, it's very retro inspired, so lots of cropped things, and she has a very distinct style that I love. But this one is a cropped cardigan, mostly stockinette. She has her way of doing like her set-in sleeves, which is really cool. And this one has some little kind of like starburst designs right at the neck, and then at the back of the neck, and a little bit at the front. And those were inspired by the starburst clocks, mid-century modern clocks. And I actually have one of those clocks, these big brass like star clocks, and it has come with me. I think I got it at the flea market for $10 somewhere, and it has traveled with me through all of my houses ever since I got it. It's probably like 15 years ago or something. I think I got it in high school, but I love it. It's probably my favorite. You know, if there was one piece of like not furniture, but one piece of decoration that I could keep, if I had to get rid of everything else, I'm pretty sure that would be it. That is where my heart is. So this cardigan was actually inspired by those clocks. So I think that's why it has a place in my heart. And I'm going to give one away. So what you are going to need to do is go check out Andy Satterlund's patterns, which I will include a link down below and in the show notes. And go check out her patterns and tell me what is your favorite Andy Satterlund pattern. Also, have you ever knit one before, and how do you like it? I know I've had Agatha in my queue for years, and I still really want to make it. And I think with this new skirt that I'm making, I think that I will definitely have to make one of these cardigans sooner rather than later. Yeah, and you can do that. Did I say that? Go to my Ravelry group, Pip and Pin, and you can enter there. And I'll choose the winner on the next episode of the podcast. And I think that's pretty much everything for today. Congratulations again to all of our giveaway winners. I will be getting a little prize together for the September Pip and Pin Knit Along. And I will post about that. I'll also let everyone know when pre-sales are going to be open for the books. And that's about it. Thank you so much. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers in the last little while, so I just want to take a minute and say thank you to everyone who gave me a chance and subscribed, and to all of my returning subscribers. As always, I really appreciate you guys as well for sticking with me. So thanks so much. Have a great day. If your kids are in school, enjoy your free time. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.